This first trend here is dollar destruction. We've all been used to dollar supremacy. It's been the last, half a century that the dollar has been the reserve currency of the world. Here's a couple of things that I mentioned back in February when some of you were following me then. And I talked about this last year, saying this was already going to happen. US printed more money in 1 month than in 2 centuries. 35% of all US dollars in existence have been printed in the last 10 months. These are like phenomenal numbers. I want to direct you to a particular video, which I really hope that by the end of today, if you haven't yet watched it, you have a chance to watch it. And you can see this one here, dollar crash prediction, when and how it will happen according to billionaire Ray Dalio. I posted this in July last year, and it's already hit the first part of the economy, which is the asset economy. You can see here, you've actually got China, which is going to be overtaking the US within the next 3 years. And then he's actually showing specifically what this means for the currency based on what happens the moment that the US currency is no longer the reserve currency. And he sees this happening within the next 5 years. That's pretty phenomenal. This one is showing the actual value from 100 down to 0. And the US dollar has dropped 99% against gold since 1970. And so it's already down to here. And then when the cycle changes and another one comes along. So here he's actually shown a 200-year cycle, and he's shown what happened with here the Dutch guilder when the British pound sterling overtook it, and then when the US dollar overtook it, and what's about to happen as the digital yuan grows and then overtakes it as well, right? And there's a whole bunch more information in there, but we're talking about something much, much bigger than just the US dollar. We're talking about all fiat currencies where governments can just print whatever money they want. And as a result of that, we're seeing it in real time, and it is phenomenal. Here are some articles. This is just from the last month. Dow jumps 300 points to top 34,000, record high on the Dow, record high in S&P 500. Home prices. This here is the United Nations World Economic Situation. This is taking us into the beginning of 2021, and this is the total debt. It's kind of interesting that central banks call debt assets, right? Because it's money that people owe them, but they're basically just printing money out of thin air. So here you've actually got just how much globally this is already happening. And this is from, United Nations and World Bank that they're actually sharing these numbers. If we take something even more ridiculous, let's take Bitcoin. We are on the 10th anniversary of Satoshi Nakamoto disappearing. That was in April 2011, which is exactly 10 years ago. So if we actually take 10 years from 30 cents to here, you might think, okay, that's a big jump from 30 cents up to 57,000. But let's reverse this around. Let's actually say what happens if it was US dollar against Bitcoin. Then what's happened over 10 years, not over 30 years. US dollar has not lost like it has against gold, 99%. It's actually lost against Bitcoin within 10 years, 99.9995%, which is totally ridiculous, right? But that is what inflation looks like when it goes into hyperinflation. It's why we're currently seeing across all asset classes this craziness where if you were basically keeping your money in cash, it's the worst thing you could possibly do. And this goes across everything. This is going to continue as long as governments keep printing money until the money becomes worthless. Here is properties, right? We're seeing records in all different parts of the world. We're also seeing this happening in commodities. This is just happening right now, by the way. May the 4th. So we're talking now this week, May the 3rd, May the 4th, broad commodities price boom amplifies supercycle. So there's a supercycle starting in commodities, which basically means all consumer prices are now growing like crazy. Velocity of money and supply of money are inversely proportional. So you can double the supply of money, but if you halve the actual velocity of money because the economy slows down, which what happened during the pandemic, the government can get away with printing a lot of money without anyone noticing it. But the moment the economy speeds up again, which is what's happening right now, it directly impacts the pocket for exactly this reason, because everyone then has more demand for commodities, for the things that are out there. And so as a result, the prices go up like crazy. So this is just starting right now. In the next 6 months, it's going to be mind-blowing what takes place in this area. And this is where there's going to be an even bigger exodus of cash for those who can do it into assets which are a hedge against the dollar. So this is not just about how you invest to make money, it's how you invest to not lose your money. Dogecoin, Ethereum, we're going to go into why these are growing. And if you're not in cryptocurrencies right now, why this has a lot more to do with what you are getting out of than what you're actually getting into. So we're going to get into that as well. So let me get onto the second one of these waves, because if that first one's already got you motivated to say, okay, time to start moving where your money is, then let's start talking about the second one, which is where do you move it to?